once met a Spinosaurus.
You did?
Yeah, he was so annoying.
Why do you say that?
Because he was an irritator.
Don't mind me just doing some paleontology for university. That's what I'm doing. But thank you, Mr. St. Marie, for that lovely introduction. Hello, everyone. And as already noted, my name is Jordan Young, and I am honored to give you the valedictorian address for the class of 2020. So hurrah, congratulations to everyone on that. But before I go into my speech, I would first like to thank and acknowledge the following people. First off, a special thank you to Trustee Pohill and Trustee Pizzolato, our MP for London Fanshawe, Lindsay Matheson, our MPP for London Fanshawe, Teresa Armstrong, and our Superintendent of Student Achievement, Paul Sador. On behalf of the graduates of Sir Wilfrid Laurier, I would like to thank each of you for your tireless contributions in supporting our education system. Without your contributions, we would not be here, and that is being the first graduating class during a global pandemic. A special thank you goes to our Laurier's administrators, teachers, and support staff. You have gone above and beyond the call of duty in so many ways this past year. Without your support, many of us would not be here today, celebrating our graduation. You have encouraged us for the past 4 years to show up for class, work hard, and always letting us know that there is greatness in us to influence those around us. So thank you. To our parents, guardians, friends, and anyone and everyone who played a role in our lives, the words thank you seem quite inadequate, but I just want to say on behalf of the graduating class, thank you. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for guiding us. Thank you for picking us up and dropping us off. Thank you for instilling wisdom and values. Thank you for believing in us. And thank you for your tremendous support. We are successful today because of you. And finally, I would like to thank our commencement committee for planning our virtual graduation. Most graduation preparations are challenging during the best of times, but this year you have to think outside the box in putting a virtual ceremony that has been done never before. We applaud the many hours you put into allowing us to be here today. We acknowledge and thank you for a special moment that we will always remember. Now for the speech portion of my presentation. Peers, friends, classmates, acquaintances, I want to congratulate all of you for persevering through an unprecedented time in our history. A crisis that will always be compared to a modern-day plague. I know it has been a challenging time for many of you, through many obstacles, whether it be academically, emotionally, physically, financially, mentally, socially, and well, you get the idea. But we conquered it, and now we can feel the riches of our reward in hard work. So graduates of the pandemic, give yourselves a round of applause. Back in June, when I first got the message that I was going to address the graduating class, I freaked out, wondering, how am I going to wrap up the entirety of events to all of you, especially during the last few months from March to June? But then I realized the answer has been in front of my face the entire time. From natural disasters to economic crises, to social injustices and unrest, and the mandatory shutdown, and well, the pandemic, the entirety of the world has been an ongoing theme, which is nothing stays the same. For the past 4 years, I've learned and grown so much. Not quite vertically, well, not yet. But one thing I've always noticed at Laurier is that nothing ever stays the same. From teachers, friends, and even the school itself. I mean, who here remembers the school setup at the front back in grade 9? But the point is, nothing ever stays the same. For example, starting high school. Unlike elementary school, where we had the safety and cover of the building, high school was just terrifying. The fact that we actually had to go to various classes throughout the day, had more homework, and on top of that, we had to walk through the halls with students who looked like they were in their 30s, just freaked me out. And on top of that, some students didn't want to make any friends. So, example, me, kind of, yeah. I remember on my first day, I was 4'7", well, yeah, 4'7", struggling to reach the top of my locker, the shelf on my locker, and I was surrounded through the hallways with very large football players. One day, I was trying to find my way to my first class, but my eyes locked onto another guy who was following me. I picked up the pace, and he was still chasing me, so I kind of ran and hid in the washroom. Long story short, pun intended because of my height, he found me and chased me again, and it turns out he just wanted to be my friend. He also told me that if anyone were to pick on me based on my height, that he would fix them. Thankfully, I didn't require his services. Throughout my time at Laurier, the students I encountered taught me that no matter what problem we had, there's always someone in your corner who had your best interests. The pandemic forced us into a new scope of reality, a different norm. Before, we were used to waking up, grabbing a bite to eat, hanging out with our friends, and attending classes. We lived in a school where things were predictable for quite a long time. Well, except for a grade 12 prank day where someone released chickens on the school and there was that guy doing donuts in the field. But back to the point. Our education as we knew it was in a new realm called online learning, something that no one had experienced, administrators, teachers, and students alike. I know many of you struggled as I did in adapting to the new world, especially for those who are in post-secondary. The new challenges forced us to be flexible and adaptable to the new world where things around us seem to come to a halt. But despite the hard season, each of you conquered something that no generation has ever experienced. And somehow, in some way, we are all here today together to celebrate our hard work and accomplishments. I know many of you were looking forward to our last field trips, laughs and hanging out with our friends at school, playing at sports and winning championships, seeing everyone dress up for prom, and overall a goodbye as a sound as we clean up our lockers, hand over our textbooks, and bid our teachers farewell. Though things may never be the same going forward, each of you have gained skills for the real world, using your voices to speak up against injustices, persevering under insurmountable circumstances, and learning new ways to cope in the new normal. So,
Graduates of the pandemic.
we face the greatest challenge yet, the real world, and even an ever-changing place that will test and bend you to your limits. No matter what endeavor you choose, there will always be change. Some of it may be good, some of it may be bad, some of it is for the better, but nothing will ever stay the same. But always remember, even though life may not stay the same, be adaptable, be diligent, be true, find those to lift you up. Use your voices to change the world. And if you have a crisis, seek the necessary help to be restored fully. But most importantly, remember your roots. You are a Laurier Ram. And as I conclude my virtual speech, I wish each of you all the best for your bright futures. You all have a great potential to do greatness. So Rams, graduates of the pandemic, for the finalmost time, remember how you spend your time and who you spend it with, and I'll see you at our 2019-2020 class reunion. And maybe, just maybe, we'll have our prom. What do you think of that?
Well, I thought it was pretty good.
I think so too.